But Elder, you're in both. And Victoria, you're in both. I don't think they like Alan.
Well, that could be. That could be. I,
Well, look at that.
I don't know what to say.
I
Wow.
can see
I don't
that.
use that one. I got nothing. And
that
I'm on my phone, so I'm not gonna be able to monitor Facebook. So
Okay.
oh no.
yeah, I can't do both.
Okay. Well,
And my internet is out on the computer. That's why I had to come on the phone.
gotcha. 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 Well, I hope you all had a good week. I had a good week. Um, has anybody gotten a census thing? Have
Mm,
you gotten a thing to turn in a census?
is it a
No,
census year?
I was there. I said, wasn't it last year?
I
No.
got I got something
Was
from
it?
the United States Census Bureau.
Oh.
You
Oh,
didn't
that we must gonna get on too then.
well,
What did they want? I'm being nosy.
everything, everything, and I stopped. I got to a point where I stopped, and that doesn't
Oh.
have anything to do with authors up. So I'll put that aside. Talk to you
The-
about that later. But for tonight,
For tonight.
for
For
tonight,
tonight. What do we got?
yes, indeed, we're going to talk about our week in review, and we're going to see and share with everybody who says that they think they might want to start journaling. So we're going to get into that tonight, and that's going to be a good thing. And I'm going to be happy about it.
All right.
All right, everybody, time to roll the open.
Oh,
Thank
there's
you, Alan.
Alan.
All
Thank
right.
you, Alan.
Here we go.
Rolling.
Were you directing the music, Victoria?
Yes.
Oh,
Yes. That
wonderful.
is my
Wonderful.
that's the happy music.
Good evening, ladies. Hey there, Ruth. Hello,
Hi.
Victoria. How are you guys doing?
Good. Good.
Doing
How are
good.
you?
Okay.
I am doing good as well. And I am thankful for our listeners, and I'm glad that we're going to have some folk coming in tonight. I know it's Super Bowl Sunday, but you know what? Everybody is not immersed in the Super Bowl.
Or the
Hey,
commercials,
man.
because I'm a
Were
commercial fan.
you
What?
guys looking already? I don't even know what channel is on. I don't know anything.
Oh,
You're not into football at all, I take it. Not at all.
Not since my separation.
Oh,
That
what were
was the men thing.
what were you saying, Ruth?
what's that?
Uh,
I said, what was Ruth saying? Ruth was saying something about
the,
football.
the commercials.
No, I watch for commercials.
Oh, you're
Yeah.
a halftime show football person.
No,
Yeah, I
not
want to
even
be
the halftime show. I watch for commercials.
Just the ads.
Just the ads. Yep. I want to see what they spent $6 and $7 million on.
for
So
real.
Isn't it?
I
Some
mean,
of the
you got a
commercials are
worldwide
so
audience.
funny.
That's probably easy. That's a deal. But
But
I
some
want
of the
to.
commercials are so funny though. It's really funny.
That,
It's
Like the one
hard.
that one with the year that they had Betty White. That I thought that was funny.
well, I haven't really watched football with any degree of true interest. for years. For years, my
Mhm.
dad and I used to do that. Was our thing. Do
Okay.
so and we even did Monday Night Football.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh yeah, he'd call me and he'd say, "Who you like?" I'd pick a team, any
Random.
team. Pick a team. And then he'd want to bet, and he'd say, let's put a bet. I said, okay, let's bet. And he'd say, let's bet $5. Ooh,
Ooh, that was big money. Big
that'll
money
break
grip.
Daddy, that'll break the bank. But it was fun. It was just fellowship and fun. To
Exactly.
him and act like I cared. Uh, 'Cause I did the year we won the Super Bowl, though, which was
Oh
many
yeah.
years ago, and just kind of shut the city down. We're so excited about that. So it is. It's a good time for those who want it to be a good time, and
It's no holiday for some.
I like looking at all the recipes. People posting all these recipes for their snacks. Wow,
Chicken wings, right? How many ways can we do chicken wings?
this is important. So.
Uh,
So if you were not preparing snacks for the game this week, what was your week like? Victoria, we'll start off with you. What's going on in your world this past week? Hey, Linda, good to have you on the line.
I'm accessing the computer. Trying to remember. It work.
Work. You had busy work.
Yes, I had a very busy work week. Yeah, work.
Mm-hmm.
That is about it. Nothing more remarkable. Working my business. Whew. So it was a busy week because I had some increased sales, which meant Friday night was shipping night.
Awesome.
So it was good. But nobody tells you that part of being an entrepreneur, right?
Oh no, you
Still is
are
bright, though. I
CEO, your
still bright.
sales, your admin, your everything.
That's right.
Yeah, I am it.
Mhm.
I am it. So I'm a little tired from all that. I was like, okay, all right. But I got it done, got it out, got all packages done. So I'm in a good place tonight. But it was just work,
That
and
sounds.
that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
All
Mm-hmm.
right, who's next? Who's up next? Tell me something good.
Well, something good. Isn't that a
Down,
song?
down.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay, I
Okay,
lost.
we sorry. We
I'm back.
sorry.
I'm back.
No, you good. You good. You done?
Yeah,
Yep.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
through. Thank you, Ruth.
You good?
I'm good. I'm good.
Okay. All right. So, regular work week, just like Victoria. I did get to travel some this week. So I got to do that. That put a little um variety in my week, and I discovered that most of North Carolina looks the same. So, um
Okay.
yeah, it was just a lot of land and a lot of cows and stuff. So, small
Okay.
towns, things like that. Things like that. So,
Okay.
I am excited though because on Tuesday, just 2 days from now, Paula's book will be released.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. That's right. So,
That's
I mean, for all the work that we did, I feel like this is our baby too. So
Yeah, I'm excited.
I am so excited, and I am just, I have to say, my, I've published over about 35 books, and I've enjoyed doing every one of them, but I have a heart for fictional books. So, I have a heart for romance, and her book just definitely fit. So, it was a joy to do, and I am just so looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to her release, the signing party on
Yeah.
Saturday. It's gonna be a great week. So,
yeah.
Yes.
That's Saturday, February the 18th
that
Yes.
is correct. Yes.
in Durham. Yep.
Yes.
So we hope to see some of our AU folks there, and
Mhm.
it's an exciting time. It's always exciting when it is physically in your hands. That's
Yeah.
the thing,
Yes.
get it physically in your hands. So yeah,
Yep. I
we're
can't wait to get one.
we're all looking forward to that. Are you going to be able to go, Victoria?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, I will.
Awesome.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
you
I
go.
have two events that day, but I'm
Yes,
going to
you
do
do.
it.
I think you do
Yep.
have two events that day.
Yep. We're
Absolutely.
going.
Absolutely. Way to go. Very good. Very good. Um, that it for you, Ruth?
That is it. Yes. How was your week?
My week was good. I don't really remember it, but it had to have been good.
Well, if you don't remember the bad parts, then it was good.
It
So
was good.
hence it must have been good.
They will take it.
Yep, I did a lot of planning, doing a lot of planning, and getting to and through these two events coming up for me. So did some work on that, and I'm actually thinking of uh, constructing a bit of a studio somewhere in my house.
Oh,
Oh,
really?
hmm
okay.
Have the space to do it. I don't need much space to do it. I know when I was doing voiceover work, the area that I would work in was about the size of a closet. You
Oh
know,
wow.
it's all egg crated around for sound purposes. But I
Yeah.
had just enough room to go in and have my papers on a stand and read whatever the commercial ad stuff was and come out. So
Hmm.
it wasn't, I don't need a huge space,
Right.
but I need a space where I can put decent lighting. I
Hmm.
struggle with lighting. I have gone through so many ring lights and stands, and I can't ever get my lighting right. And I want to be able to have an area where I can flip on a switch and sit in the chair or put my
Can be
back
done.
and do what I got to do. Hey, Jennifer, good evening, lady. Glad to have you on Authors Up with us tonight. She's a sweetheart. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining. Yep, yep. Creating in the space you are in. Absolutely. There's no reason for me not to do it. And it's really not an expensive process to do. I need to get the right, you know, lights and hoods and all those kind of things, and just just make it work because I don't. It'll take a lot of testing to do, I think,
Hmm. Hmm.
because of background noises and things.
Hmm.
But I would love to just get up and go to the studio and not be plugging this in and plugging that
Yeah.
in and
Yeah.
moving after I, finish the broadcast and all that. And since we have technology, which is so wonderful, and I don't have to worry about a guest having to physically come in, I can set up where I want to set up and be, stationary for a while. So
Hmm.
I think I'm going to continue to look into that, and you will definitely know if and when it happens because I won't have all these crazy shadows and things going on in the back, and I won't be going like this. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Do you know where I am? So,
Yeah, you got me thinking about a little space in my room here that I might. You got my wheels thinking. So thank you for that.
yep.
Yeah,
And I, and
'cause
I don't know whether to go up or down. I don't know whether I want it upstairs or whether I want it downstairs. But I think downstairs is uh I'm leaning towards that. But the only thing that kind of trips me up and takes me out is the temperature. Uh,
okay.
Downstairs is very, 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 very cold in the winter and very, very,
Okay.
very hot in the summer. But I also
Okay.
think about the fact that I'm not on the air that long.
That's true.
So
That's true.
Okay.
we're talking about an hour. I can take anything for an hour pretty much. So
Okay.
we'll see what happens. So y'all
Good.
commit, put that on your prayer wheel, commit that to prayer, and it would be guided, directed to do the right thing the right way. And we're going to we'll see what he does. We'll see what he does. He's a great architect. He's a wonderful poet. He's a great writer. So he can do all things. So
Yep.
Absolutely.
He's a studio designer too.
he can lead me in the design process, right? But tonight we're going to be talking about, we have had so many people over time, whenever we talk about journaling and writing and things like that, to say, I want to get started on that. I think I need to get started on journaling. Or I think that's something that I want to do. But then they turn and they don't know how to get started. They don't know how to get the things that they think they might want to journal onto paper. So we had a couple of weeks ago, we did an in-depth program about journaling. We want to review some of those things tonight, and then we want to tell you how to get started. And to help you get started, we're going to put out a little journaling challenge that we're going to talk to you about tonight as well. So Victoria, you want to get us started on the review of why people should even journal?
Yes. I love number one, improves mental health. I had some discussions more than one time this week about the state of everyone's mental health after COVID. Now that we've come out of it, quote unquote, right? The big lockdown. And we haven't provided some of our children, you were talking about education, we haven't provided our children a chance to speak. So we're going to be probably be involved in some COVID conversations. How did the kids feel during lockdown? And, how do they really, some kids really struggle while others did okay, but how did it impact their lives? They haven't had a chance to talk about it. And I think journaling is a great way to encourage any young person to talk about the challenges they had definitely during COVID. So it improves the mental health. Just the act of taking pen to paper can help someone relax, manage your anxiety, cope with depression, and enjoy one of life's greatest pleasures. We love it so much, writing, right?
Yep.
And, getting your thoughts down on paper, you can gain a deeper understanding of the causes of your own internal conflicts, while you also explore the external challenges that you face. Any problems, fears, anything that's just going on in your mind really can help if you would journal. Just get your thoughts out. Um, Another positive is that it encourages self confidence. Journaling can boost your self confidence in a few ways. And if you journal to keep your thoughts and schedule organized, you may find that being prepared helps reduce your anxiety.
Mhm.
You can use your journal as a place to actively practice positive self-talk. And I think that goes right back to the mental health. Sometimes the things that we tell ourselves are not always positive. So we can make it a practice of talking to ourselves in positive ways. You'd be amazed how much that would branch out to everyday life. And that combats negative thoughts and improves your own relationship with yourself. I like that. All right. And then number three, another benefit, it boosts your emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence. Journaling can help you make sense of how you're feeling about a certain person or a situation that is troubling you or even inspiring you. It can also help you understand your triggers. If you write down what's going on, you can look back on that. That would really help a lot to help you understand yourself. So I like no 1, 2, and 3. It all helps you keep your mental health straight.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And one thing I'm glad that you mentioned too is the children,
Yeah,
because journaling isn't for a certain age group or an
I
age
agree.
category. Anybody can journal, and I think that's a good place particularly with what's gone on with COVID and lockdown and all of
I
those
agree.
things. So yeah, I think that's a good benefit that we don't always think about.
I
But
wish I had done it more. I really do. I really wish I had done some COVID Chronicles.
yeah, that would have been a good name for it too.
Because it was quite an experience. It
Yeah,
really was.
yeah.
Just whew, being home all day, every day with everybody.
It was not one the being home all day every day. It was the with everybody part. I think got people.
And think about people who are by themselves, people who live alone. You know, that would really help a person living alone to really kind of get out some of their thoughts and get out of their own head. It's just a lot. I think COVID is going to have some long reaching effects that we don't even know about. But I think journaling, if we have anything that happens again, or even if somebody wants to write down what they experienced, journaling is the way.
Journaling is the way. Good evening to you, Francina. Glad to have you in the house tonight. And Francina mentioned that journaling has helped her through loss of those close to her, and
Yeah,
it is something that is often recommended as
right.
part of dealing with the grieving process. A lot of times they will recommend journaling. What do you have, Ruth, as benefits?
Well, I've also got goals, celebrations, and setbacks. If you're trying to achieve something, this is definitely a way that you can do it because, even as beneficial as journaling is when you go through perhaps a traumatic event, speaking for
Mhm.
myself, I've been journaling now probably about almost 30 years. And I started after my first pregnancy ended in a miscarriage. Um,
Mm.
it ended up merging into my church journal, so it just became one big thing, but it helped in the healing process for that,
Oh,
and that's good. Whatever the circumstances, whatever you're going through, it's great to journal for that. But sometimes it's not about the trauma that you experience. Sometimes it's just what do you want to do with your life? you know,
mhm,
what do you want to accomplish? And this is one way, by putting pen to paper, by keeping the goals in front of you. This is a great way to help achieve those. It inspires creativity. Write down your ideas. I tend to I have stickies all over the house. I really should just get a book and put it by my bedside. I do keep my phone by the bedside in case I ever want to get up in the middle of the night and write something down. However, journals are great for this. If you have ideas, if you are an aspiring writer, and even if you're not, if there's just an idea gnawing at you, write it down. You can have an ideas journal. It'll boost your memory when you write stuff down. My mom was always good at that. She was an immigrant. English was her second language, and that is how she became more fluent. She would write things down and it would help her remember it. And so she always encouraged
okay.
us when you get to school, write everything down. Did you write it down? Did you write it down? So that's great for that. It also helps develop critical thinking skills, making reasoned judgments that are logical and well thought out. It just helps you think better when you're putting
Mhm.
things down. When you're possibly taking notes in class and doing all that, and you're looking at it, reading it, and just exploring all of that, you know, that can help you develop your critical thinking. So, those are a few more benefits. Again, not always tied to the traumatic side of life, but it can all work together.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
And so definitely, the I don't want to say the issue, but the benefit of the improvement of academic
Mhm.
performance is a big one because I don't care whether you are putting it on your phone, in a computer,
Mhm.
or actually
Yes.
doing the pen and paper piece. Um, we can't get away from note taking
Right.
somehow in your quest for degrees and certificates and all things academic. It will be necessary to have some tests. It will be necessary to have some midterms. It will be necessary to have study groups or whatever. And in the academic world, you will need to take notes, and those kinds of journals are very, very important and very essential to that process and being able to do that. You mentioned your church journal, Ruth, and I think that journaling comes into play, especially with our spiritual growth.
Yep.
When you have a particular scripture, we often ask, what's the scripture that you held on to? What's the scripture that got you through that particular event, whether it was a celebration or a setback or, whatever it happened to be. And I often write my prayers. I write what I say to him, and then I write what he says to me. And it's very helpful to me to go back over time. Sometimes I'll just flip through that journal and look at it and think, ooh, he said to do. Did I do that? What was the outcome? What was the result of it? And sometimes I can recognize a common thread. And a common thread for me in my spiritual journals, church journals, prayer journals, has always been about his presence. And when I go back through, I think, wow, have I spent the time with him that I should have? Have I allowed him to speak to me? And like to go back and see what he said, during those particular times, and just grab hold to those things. So I think the spiritual journal, I think we do that more often than we realize. And it definitely strengthens communication skills.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Strengthens communication skills, both oral and written. Written, needless to say, but oral skills as well, because there is a conversation that goes on with you. We're talking about self-talk, and there's a conversation that goes on with you before you put that pen to paper. It's some things that you are thinking about and causing you, to write what you write. There's something else that I wanted to ask as I was looking at this, and before we get into the journaling categories, and I don't think we touched on it a couple of weeks ago, but there is, and we know what our challenge is going to be about, but sometimes people think because they have not journaled every day, that they're not journaling, or they beat themselves because I didn't write today, I didn't put anything down today. And I want to keep that in mind, because as we look at the journaling categories that we have, I think we probably do a little bit of all of it, but I don't think we think of it as journaling. And when we look at these categories, especially the first one, you got the first two, Victoria, that very first one that you have.
The bullet journaling.
Yeah, I think we do that a lot, and I just don't think we think it's journaling. I think we think it's just our paper and a Sharpie and a checklist, but
right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But to go back, I just want to go back, and I'll go forward in a minute. But I want to go back to like your church journal. I have a journal that I keep in my Bible, and so and while I know a lot of people may use their phones, but I actually like to write my sermon notes, and I'll do the scripture, and then I'll write down in my in that book, that same book, any things like the pastor is saying, that like a quote that I thought that really stood out to me, that that was good, and write that down. And then sometimes I'll sit and take that and go read back, like a year or something, and it's just chock full of these little good nuggets from the sermons, and I probably should go back and read that more often than I do. So I'm going to make that a habit too, to go back and read some of those sermons. But and bullet journaling, the types of journaling, that's what we're talking about going forward now. Bullet journal, which focuses on bulleted lists And it's a great method to use for personal organization and tracking progress. We use this type of journal to make to-do lists, brainstorm about projects that you may have, or to record your goals. And I never thought about to-do lists being a way to journal, as I will do to-do list often at work. If I know I have a couple of projects to do, and then I'll just write down all the little tasks that I have to do, but I don't write it in a particular book. So I guess that's why I never thought about it as journaling, because I'll take a sticky paper, the sticky note, and write and then scratch through it and keep on going. But I also have, this made me think, I also have another book that is that was made. It's a bound book that it has lined paper in it, and I use that when I go to meetings, and I'll take my notes from the meetings, or if my boss says, Victoria, come to my office for a minute, I'll grab that. That's my book. That's my Bible at work, because she give me tasks to do. I write it in there so I will not forget what she said. So I like that. So the bulleted lists are in that too. All right. Another type of journal is those 5 W's, a 5W journal. And that is who, what, why, when, and where, right? And you can use those questions to start writing when you're learning new information, or if you're even trying to understand a real life situation. It can be helpful to break down that information into those 5 W's. Just write down who, what, why, when, and where. And again, that definitely helps organize your thoughts and see where you're going. And it can help organize that information as you commit it to memory. So I like that a lot. And I've never thought about doing it that way either, because my journals are not that way. Scrambled thoughts journal.
Look, but that's okay. There is no right or wrong way to journal.
No, right.
No.
Right.
So, and going back to your question, Andrea, you determine how often you write. I do it every day because that's how I do it. If you say, hey, I just need to do lists, maybe that's a Monday through Friday thing, because that's when you work, or maybe you just want to do a Saturday thing and say, okay, these are the good things, although you probably don't want to do it just once a week, because then you won't remember. Maybe these are the good things that happened this week.
Right.
Be like us. Hey, what did we do this week? Oh. So it's just
journaling would help us with that.
Probably. We need to work on our memory journal. Yeah. So, I think I touched on the first one, which is gratitude. There are people who write just, there are journals out there. This is a market. There is a market for it. But there are journals out there where you can do like 1 or 5 years and just say, write one little thing in there that you are grateful for that happened that day. Or you can just take a notebook and do that. However you choose to do that, that is one way that you can do it. Writing down what you're grateful for helps you change your mindset so that you're seeing the more positive things of life. Yeah. So you can do a question journal. It helps with self-discovery. Just record questions you have about class or about life or about, whatever it is. I'm a biblical student, so I will sit there and read and just be like, oh, wait, I have a question there. And it may not be time now to answer that question, but I can write it down and come back to it later. So, whatever your studies are, whatever it is, you can do a question journal. So, Andrea, I think you got the last 2.
I got the last 2, and one is it's a simple one, and it just says reading. And reading is, sometimes I think it is the beginning of the book that we say we might want to write. When you're putting those ideas down, it's something like the 5 W's, but it is just a way to just corral those thoughts and corral the energy and just put it in one place that you can go back and review. All of them, when I look at the different categories and things that we have, it all has to do, all of it seems to have to do somehow with organizing. There are two
Mhm.
things that come to me immediately when I think of journaling. That's organizing, or whether you're organizing your thoughts or your lists or whatever. And the second one is to helping you with memory, even with
Mhm.
your academic things, even if that's the way that you start out. Ultimately, it's going to help you with
Mhm.
memory, help you to remember things. And the last one was simply whatever's on your mind. That's it. I did whatever is on your mind. And I think about that. I think Francine said she keeps her journal in bed. Uh, and I keep a journal near my bed because there are times that my sleeping patterns are really crazy. So if I get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and he is speaking and or a rhyme comes to me, a rhythm might come to me about something, there are times that I lay there and say, let me remember it in the morning because
Right.
I didn't put my notepad by the bed.
I don't want to right now.
I can't get up and get that pen right now. Let me remember it in the morning. But I do try and keep, and I don't know why I didn't think of it until right now because my phone is always near me. So there's
Right.
no reason that I couldn't just record it on the phone, and I wouldn't lose it, and I wouldn't have to get up. So,
Right. Right. Right.
so
Right. Right.
something that I need to think about too. Jennifer says decluttering the mind through journaling. I love that, Jen.
Yep.
That is a good one. And that's exactly what we are doing. Think about it. But there is a release that happens once you get it down. Whatever that thought is, whatever that idea is, whatever that passage was, or what, because most of the time it's going to stay with you if you don't do something with it.
Yeah.
If you don't write it down, if you don't speak it, if you don't handle it in some way, it doesn't leave you. It may not come back to you verbatim, but it's still there. It's still
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So I think they're getting situated and getting settled in the way that you decide to do it or want to do it or that's comfortable with you is going to be helpful in all of these things, from mental health, which leads to better physical health, to leads
Yes.
to better memory, and all of those things I think are garnered within that. So the question now becomes the big question of the day.
Yeah.
How do I get started?
Where are we now?
How do I get started? Go ahead, Victoria.
Well, are we going to say this part? We're going to say how we journal or where? Okay. Okay. All right. I sort of journal, I think two ways as I'm reading through the ways to journal. I believe I do a prayer journal because sometimes when I'm journaling, what I'm just writing. I've never really considered it. Well, yes, it's journaling, but I'm praying. I'm like, Lord, I thank you for this has happened today or whatever. And Lord, I just thank you for this today. And this happened today, God. And I don't know what I think about this today, God. And I'm just kind of sort of talking and praying to him. And then I am doing what else at the top? Praying journal and whatever comes to mind journal. It's just, today, and I never really thought about it as journaling as much as I thought of it as a diary. When I was younger, I have about 5 or 6 diaries that I need to go find and go burn. Okay, from from my teenage years of early teens to about 18, 19, and I would keep a diary and I would write every day. Dear diary,
Yep,
I
yep.
did this today, and I did that today, and I have when I was moving, I read a little bit of it, and I prayed at so and so prayed 7 o'clock, studied the Bible. I was like, well, I was really studious back then,
Surprise, surprise.
right? Now I can't get up and say, oh dear God, thank you for this day. I'm going to the bathroom. So I journal that way, and I just don't, and I definitely don't do it every day, so I don't berate myself about that anymore. Because I used to think it was a certain way you had to do it. But now I know it's a very personal thing. And I'm not journaling to write a novel. I am definitely journaling to clear the thoughts and to get it out. And I really wish there was, and I know I've spoken about this before, when one of my best friends was murdered in 2015, I could not write. I didn't want to. I felt like I was stuck, right? And I think that I just decided not to because I just didn't want to deal with the emotions. So I didn't want to think about it. I didn't want to deal with the horror of it. But now I wish I had used that as a tool. I wish I had used my writing as a tool to release that and process the grief a little better.
Mhm.
So I'm trying to do that now with with losses. So
Mhm.
that's where I am. What about you guys?
Well, I think that that is the question to ask when you're thinking about starting journaling and you don't know uh, where you start. I think it is good to look at just what you said. Where are you now? What are you writing now? What are the things that you're writing about now? And
Hmm.
for me, and if you are in any of these categories that we have mentioned, you are on your way. For me, I do lists. I do the bulleted lists. Do a lot.
Hmm.
I journal my notes from different meetings. I journal my prayers. I write my prayers. I definitely have my idea journal for things that come to me when I wake up. So I'm kind of a little bit of everywhere, and I'm doing something every day. I'm not necessarily pinpointing uh, my journal, but I think it's good for our listeners who have not started journaling, maybe some who have and some who do, to just pause for a minute and say, okay, look at the last couple of days or the last 3 days or the last week or whatever, and ask yourself, okay, what did I write? What did I write? Because I guarantee you wrote something. So what did I write? Was it a list that I wrote? Was it notes that I wrote that I took? Was it something for class? You know, discover what it is you've been writing and what category it falls into. Hey there, Antonio. Antonio said writing can be a tool to navigate grief. Yep, we've talked about that
Yes.
this tonight.
Yes.
And I love I love what he said. He's super tardy for the party.
That's all right.
We thank you for joining. Thanks a lot, Antonio. It's always fun when you're in the house. So we appreciate you being able to stop by tonight. But I think that is the first thing, the first step to going on this journaling journey and being able to participate in the challenge that we're gonna have coming up. And let's see, what's the second thing? Because we had three things for the
Yes.
starter, for the person starting the journal.
Yes. What do
What's
you, so the second thing we want to look at is what do you want to accomplish? What do you want to achieve through your journaling? Are you trying to get more organized? Are you trying to uh, figure out your goals? Are you trying to, like Antonio said, are you trying to get through a grieving process? Are you trying to get your emotions out on paper and not have them stew in you anymore? So, figure out why you want to journal. Figure out, as you're looking at where you are now, what are you trying to accomplish? And once you answer that, that can give you a better understanding of our next question. Okay.
And our next one is, which category would be most helpful to you? Angie
Hmm.
was saying, I'm all over the place. I tried writing each day, but somehow it doesn't. And I think it may not work, Angie, because you are thinking of journaling in a particular way.
Right, right.
You have to journal in a particular way. And if you're not doing that, then you're not journaling. But I encourage you to go back and look at our categories, bulleted lists, um, helping to organize, writing down gratitude, your notes that you take, as I know that you're studying the word, and any ideas that you have. You have show you've got your whole and beautiful nation. And when you are writing down information for that particular program or to get your guests or whatever your topics are going to be, you're keeping track of that somehow. And that's part of the journaling process. I think a lot of times we're stuck in the Dear Diary part.
Yes.
So that's what we're looking for. And we're thinking, if I'm not writing a Dear Diary message, then I'm not journaling. But when you look at the categories, it's okay to be all over the place because your journals are all over the place, depending on how you want to corral that information and how you want to use it.
But can I say one thing?
Mm-hmm.
I also think it's important to note that we don't have to journal. You don't have to get you a big old pretty book, that says journal on the front.
Right.
You can journal in absolutely anything. You can take a composition book and use it as your journal. Exactly. You don't. I love it. I love it. Now I like the pretty journals. I like that.
Mm-hmm.
I like colors and I like that kind of stuff, but it doesn't have to be that formal. It can be a steno pad, a spiral notebook, anything. Just write. That's all I wanted to say.
Mm-hmm. Now, I think we have come to the important part, and this is the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody out there who is listening, and that's you and Antonio and Jennifer and Angie and Lynn,
And all our other listeners.
Everybody in podcast world.
Everybody, the folks in Toronto who come in and the folks in Jamaica that come in, here is your opportunity. And we have got a plan. And Ruth is going to tell us all about it.
Oh, she is. Okay. Cool. So, wasn't expecting that. Okay, so we have a journal challenge. If you've never done taken part, we've done NaNoWriMo, the National Novel Writing Month here a few times, and they're structured the same. This isn't okay, win a prize. No, you're doing this for you. And the best prize, I've done the National Novel Writing Contest, and to me, the best prize is that certificate I get in the end that says I completed the challenge. So here we go. Our challenge will officially start on February 20th. It's going to go for a 30 days. So from February 20th to the 19th of March, we are, going to ask you, go ahead and shoot us an email. Let us know you want to participate in it. But you're going to choose, whatever your category is, whatever you want to do. Let us know how you're going to journal. Let us know how you're going to start. We're going to put together a questionnaire just to check in, just once a week. You can email that to us. Email you words of encouragement to help encourage you along the way, because sometimes it's, it takes a little reminder. You get up in the morning. For me, it's a habit now. I get up in the morning and I know what my day is going to go like. So the minute I am in the car, I know I'm going to start dictating my journal. So, we want to help you along the way. We want to, if you're stuck, we want to give you words of encouragement. We want to offer you the accountability for that. And I think that's it.
It's real simple.
Yeah.
And guys, let me tell you this. This is not to add stress to your life in any way, shape, or form.
Mm-mm. Nope.
This is not for you to condemn yourself in any way, shape, or form. Oh my goodness, I did not write today. It is about enhancing something that I guarantee you're already doing. You are already doing it in some way, shape, or form. And we're just going to help you just kind of put it in an order and navigate it and make sure it's going to be rewarding for you. It's going to be fulfilling for you. And it's going to be fun. This is Authors Up. We don't do anything unless fun is attached to it. So
that's true.
Somewhere.
We don't like boring either.
Somewhere. It'll be fun and it will not be boring. Jen has put her uh, uh, email information in the chat, Ruth, if you can see it there, so that she has accepted the challenge. Who
All
else?
Oh,
right.
definitely. Yeah.
Leah is saying, I never did it, would like to do it, need the structure. Leah, you in the challenge? You in? I don't want to put you down. If you're not in, I want to make sure.
That's awesome.
Yep, Angie is in. Okay, we got
Shame,
Angie.
shameless plug. If you want a formal journal, Authors Up. We have our own journal, guys.
That's right.
It's available on Amazon. So if you want to get a journal,
That's it. Okay.
get your own journal, or just send us an email at authorsup@gmail.com. If you want a journal,
That's
Yes.
right. That's right. Let's
then we
see.
can get it to you. I'm using mine.
Linda said, I am in, I think. Okay. We're
You
gonna
said,
say this
come on,
with
Linda.
authority. Come on, Linda.
No, that's okay. And for anybody out there listening as well, even if you're not on Facebook right now, shoot us an email at authorsup@gmail.com and just let us know that you're interested. We're going to be sending out an email with all the information and just what the quote unquote expectations are. Honestly, you're pretty much going to be setting those based on what you want to achieve through this. We're just here to help you along the way.
And the review, a daily review is not a bad and a lot of us are doing that already, because if you're doing bulleted lists, if you're doing to-do lists of any kind, at the end of the day, you're going to take a look at that to see whether or not you can tick off, put a line through whatever that activity happened to be. So it's not going to be cumbersome. It's really not going to be cumbersome. And we are going to send you those words of encouragement. You're going to get some things from us on a weekly basis. And like I said, if we're going to do this, and the challenge is to review this every day, because you're going to find you are already journaling more than you actually think. So we're going to be right there to help you along. We're going to be able to give you some words of encouragement. I may do my journaling for this challenge in my Authors Up journal. So for those of you who have that or want that, we can provide that. And some good notes in it as well. So I think we got a group started. We've got Angie and Jen and Leah and Linda and anybody else. And if you are looking at this on the replay, because we'll replay this on Saturday at 7 p.m. If you listen to this on a replay and you want to jump in and be a part of it, remember, just send something to authorsup@gmail.com. Let's just make sure that we have your email address. We've got Jen's, we've got Leah's. Linda, if you want to put yours in the chat, that's great. If you want to do it now, you can. Let's see. Francina, are you participating? I don't know. I don't see whether you are or not. But yeah, Linda and Angie, if either of you want to put your email in the chat, that would be great, and we'll already have you and already be ready to get started. I'm pumped about this. I think we're gonna.
I am too.
So we're participating right along with you. So you don't think just because we're hosts on Authors Up that we're doing all this the way that we should either. We need some help.
I got some thoughts I got to get out. I got some jumble thoughts I got to get out.
And again, if you're listening to this on the podcast or YouTube, you can email us at authorsup@gmail.com.
Okay. All right. Linda has put her email in, so we have hers.
Linda, thank you for joining.
Angie has put hers down, so we got hers. And yeah, okay. We got 7. Boy, that's good. We got 3 of us and we got 4 people there. Look, guys, those of you who are listening, if you have a friend and you have been talking about journaling and all, and they may not be a frequent listener on Authors Up, but if you know of anybody whom you think would enjoy this, and enjoy is the operative word, would enjoy this challenge and enjoy getting some in words of encouragement through the week and all of that, be sure to tell them to send us an email at authorsup@gmail.com. That's authorsup@gmail.com. We have gone over our time this evening. I wasn't checking the clock, y'all. I should have been checking the clock. So it's time to go. We're sorry. We do apologize. We apologize. We didn't mean to do it. But I am thankful that you all came in. I'm glad that you're excited about this, as excited as we are.
Yes, thank y'all so much.
We're going to be updating on a weekly basis how things are going and how you guys are doing. So thank you so much. Thank you for being with us tonight. Do you guys have any closing comments before we go?
Go Eagles. They're ahead.
Okay. Well,
good night, Bronze Girls.
That's all you got. That's all you got.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for being with us this always.
Absolutely. And enjoy the rest of the Super Bowl, if that's your choice. But otherwise, come back and see us next week. We'll be right here at 7 p.m. for another edition of Authors Up. Never know what's going to happen. So come back next week, 7 p.m. God bless you.
Good night.
See you next week. Good night.